This is Dave Wirt with your Ag Market News Weekly Summary. Cattle this week, there was 2,860 head compared to 3,130 last week and 3,436 a year ago. Compared to last week's market, steers were mostly firm. Holsteins and heifers were mostly steady to firm. Slaughter cows were firm, and bulls were mostly $1 to $2 higher. Steers high choice and prime are $125.50 to $128.75. Choice is $121.75 to $126. Holstein steers high choice and prime are $107.25 to $111. Choice is $102.25 to $105.75. Heifers high choice and prime $122 to $125.50. Choice is $116.75 to $120.75. Cows breakers $77.25 to $81.25. Boners were $75.50 to $78.75, and lean was $70.75 to $76. Average dressing bulls were $90.75 to $95.50. Feeder cattle, steers medium and large frame 3 to 500 pounds are $114 to $175, $114.75 to $122.50, excuse me, and 5 to 700 pounds are $114 to $119. Heifers medium and large frame 3 to 500 pounds were running about $130 to $132, 5 to 700 pounds are $113 to $123.75, and bulls 3 to 500 pounds number ones are $123.75 to $135.75, 5 to 700 pounds are $110 to $117. The runs on the feeder cattle market for this week were extremely light. Calves, there was 2,105 compared to 2,256 and 2,834 a year ago. Compared to last week, bull calves were mostly 15 to 25 lower, and heifer calves were about $10 to $15 lower. Number one Holstein bull calves 95 to 120 pounds is 149 to 163. Lighter calves were 115 to 130. Number twos 95 to 120 pounds were running 129 to 148.50. Number threes were 89.50 to 116. Holstein heifers 84 to 105 pounds are 105 to 122. Number twos are running 63 to 86. Hogs this week, there was 996 compared to 1269 last week and 1412 a year ago. Compared to last week, barrels and gilts were mostly steady, and sows were also steady. 49 to 54% lean were running 68 to 71, 45 to 49% lean were 64 to 67. 3 to 500 pound sows are 52.50 to 54, 5 to 700 pounds were 54 to 57. Sheep and lambs this week, there was 2,309 compared to 3,456 last week and 1,309 a year ago. Lambs were mostly steady to firm. Ewes were $5 to $10 lower. Choice lambs 40 to 60 pounders are 135 to 145. 60 to 80 pounders are 180 to 152, and 80 to 100 pounders are 137 to 152. Good ewes 100 to 120 pounders were 56 to 67. Utilities were running about 40 to 54. Goats this week, there were 1,615 compared to 2,375 last week and 2,048 a year ago. Compared to last week, kids were mostly steady to 10 higher. Nannies were about $10 to $20 lower, and billies were also about $10 to $20 lower. Selection 1 kids 40 to 60 pounders are 140 to 150, 60 to 80 pounders are 132 to 172, 90 to 110 pounds are 170 to 195. Selection 2's 40 to 60 pounders were 100 to 132, 60 to 80 pounders are 140 to 142, and 80 to 90 pounders are 132 to $152. Selection 3's 40 to 60 pounders were 47 to 75, 60 to 80 pounders were 62 to 85. Selection 1 nannies 80 to 130 pounders were 142 to 172, 130 to 150 pounders were 135 to 185. Selection 2's 80 to 130 pounders were 105 to 135, 130 to 150 pounders were 115 to 130. Selection 3's 60 to 90 pounders were 80 to $100. Selection 1 billies 100 to 150 pounders were 210 to $215. 150 to 200 pounders were 232 to $285. Selection 2's 100 to 150 pounders were 170 to $200. Selection 1 weathers 80 to 130 pounders were 190 to $225. 130 to 160 pounders were 252 to $335. This is Dave Wirt for Ag Market News. Have a good week.